Hey everybody, this is Retrokid Reviews with a cluster of figures to do mostly catch-up reviews. So I'm going to get the first obvious one out of the way. We're going to do the X-Men figures in a bit to do my quick review of the McFarland toys, the Flash, Supergirl. More importantly, I'm just going to do a quick summary. It's actually not bad, but if you can tell from my 4K camera, it's sort of dodgy at points on Shasa Kyle's likeness, the actress that played her in the movie. And I'm gonna go with her default pose, which what came out of the figure, this like twisted hip kind of motion. I guess it's supposed to be more flight oriented, but I want to leave it a more neutral, kind of like sideways kind of pose. Articulation wise is actually pretty good. Something I wish a lot of female body mold more Legends figures had a really decent ab crunch. Something about that just feels more, I don't know, more alertive or pretty much more of an evolutionary basis. Another knock against Superman figures, I think I've said this from time to time again, is that I'm not a big fan of the PVC cloth replacement kind of goods. Cape, I don't know, something about like cloth goods cape just feels like a better outfit, but like better design choice. But I have a feeling it was going to be expensive over time, so I don't know. It's as soft good as it's going to get. It'll probably get a little bent as time went on with like depending on the sun or suns and stuff like that. And yeah, in case you could tell, it's kind of hard at points to see the likeness on her end, because it is a very specific face, and I kind of had to mention that. That also being said, I also highly recommend her social medias, because I think her Instagram pretty much showed off most of what this suit is like behind the scenes wise when they were making the movie. So kind of a shout out there, and one of the bright spots of the Flash, because yes, I am very much aware that it dropped nearly 75% on week 2, so yeah, there was really no return seeing Ezra being, well, Ezra in that movie, so I don't know. So, gonna put that aside to the new X-Men wave that I have somehow got obsessed with. Anyway, go to Fuchs's review. He'll probably be more detail-oriented for most of the figures here. But I have 2 out of the wave, the Chahad wave, as you see here. Yeah, long story short, I'm not doing the Build-A-Figure. If you're new to my channel, I've kind of had a history of not doing Build-A-Figures until a certain Stiltman and Into the Spider-Verse wave kind of tipped me over the edge. So, from what I've seen of the Build-A-Figure itself, it's basically, I think, an Abomination Hulk mold that they use over this. The only reason why I might have to pull the trigger, because there are a few characters there I actually like to be used later in the future for my videos, so that'll be probably where I'm going to be on X-Men stuff. Let's start with the most, I guess, basic one out of the 2 in Corsair and Emma's case. The Astonishing X-Men version of Emma Frost, and she looks actually pretty good. My camera won't show much, but the flesh tones on Emma is actually not bad. I think Fuchs said it best. I would love to see like a second edition of this figure with her translucent like diamonds to show off more of her powers, because the difference between her and I think Xavier's powers on like the psychological aspects of their telepathy is that basically she's more armored, more geared up for like actual combat in like the physical world and in the mind world as well. I'm gonna have to read up a lot of X-Men lore as far as psychics go, so sorry there. But yeah, same articulation as most of the female body mode you get with Marvel Legends figures over the years, so that's kind of what you're gonna be getting. I will say the only hindrance this usually would have is, like I said, with the ab crunch department. However, a good amount of waist hip kind of rotation, so I guess you could trick a ab crunch if you need to with that, with the hips. I'll say this with Emma's hair, it has a soft goods kind of thing. It's not heavy PVC like they usually do, like the dress cape here, I want to say. Other than that, I don't know. The flesh tones on her is actually pretty good in person than it is on my camera, so I'm not gonna knock that against it. Grading on a curve, I'll say pretty average, a 6 out of 10 kind of figure. If you needed to build a wave, or you needed to build your own version of an X-Men, or have modern interpretations with favorite runs, I could see that with Emma. I could see you kind of building like your Hellions kind of wave, or like other like teams you was associated back in the day. Honestly, as a 90s guy, I would totally love to see if I could like see customs of like that Generation X pilot that went nowhere. Card, if there's anyone that dug up that pilot, honestly, that's kind of a trip and a half. I don't know if I reviewed it in the past, but it'd be kind of interesting. Plus, I'm also aware that there is an astonishing X-Men Scott, but this is Micro Koa Wave, him, and the only reason why I'll probably pick up that figure someday is for the smoke effect for the visor, if anything. So, speaking of the Summers family, speaking of that, I've been kind of in a Summers family kind of custom build kind of, I guess, kick. Cause yeah, Corsair is actually a not bad figure. I'll get to his packaging. I think is the only one I have out that I'm probably gonna keep. This is the plastic-free packaging that Marvel Legends has been having since I think the beginning of the last year's like retro Spider-Man wave. So I guess go to my reviews if I did one. Or the Japanese Spider-Man release that I also got last year as well. Go to that in the reviews. So yeah, that's what it comes with. He has the arms, and I think Emma has, I think some of the legs of Chahad. I'm gonna be pronouncing it like that because I don't know the exact terminology for this. Again, like I said, Hulk variant, I guess, character in the Starjammers case. So yeah, to Christopher Summers himself, first of all, wow, another guy in the Marvel Universe named Chris. It might as well be a bingo card for how many times you get him. That being said, I kind of was worried at first that his pirate gun here was gonna be yet another like reprint of a dead Nerf blaster, like maybe a Sweet Revenge or maybe like a Hammer Shot clone that went nowhere. But looking into the barrel, it's definitely triple barrel design. It's definitely Shi'ar kind of themed spaced stuff. So also very swashbuckling. I know my camera's not doing that much justice to it. I'm putting it at the most 4K as I can here. But the flesh tones on Chris's face here is really not bad. The bandanas kind of give me like Will Neff vibes. If you ever seen one of his streams, it's kind of like that. Yeah, for the bandolier down, it's actually pretty good. It does makeshift the sword pretty good. Because outside of that, it actually is a good pocket holster mold-wise. So ultimately, it's not bad. So another reason why I kind of had to do this version of Corsair now while I had the chance. Because I was going to save this as a, I don't know, figure size comparison with all the old guys I have here. Like Outback over here and Forge in the back. You can definitely build a custom like A-Team style kind of X-Men troop on just these guys. And like I said, now that I have Corsair, Scott, and his grandson, Nathan, obviously Cable in the back, it's not too long that I probably want to get Havoc and Vulcan just to complete, like, at least the men's side of the Scott, of the Summers family. I'm also aware of an Agent X card to that lore dump video. I don't know if he's his brother or his long-lost brother from the universe. Again, the Summers family are known to many things. Clones, alternate timeline versions themselves, and somehow being the savior and ending of the mutant race. Again, their family lore and lineage is weird in the comics, so yeah, Wikipedia yourself, I'm not going to give you help on that one. But yeah, body comparisons-wise, I guess, it's pretty comparable to what I think most of the family is. I had a feeling that, Cable and back would be bigger because of his techno-organic viruses over the years, and that makes sense on a body mold basis. But when you compare something like my, not custom, and this is just a RT gift I got a couple of years back, of Marvel Selects Beasts, you can already tell that it's a little bit off on the height. Like, it's going on a 7-inch with a bunch of 6 inches over here, or 6.5 on Cable, but that's kind of where I am. Ultimately, should you get the whole wave? If you're an X-Men fan, I get it. I can see the need for most of the figures. I can see someone wanting a modern-day Kid Omega in the early half of, like, the modern X-Force run. I can see them getting Monet if they're a Generation X fan and you're a big fan of that. I'm so on Chamber in the back over there because I kind of wanted a modern head sculpt with, like, a wraps or something like that so I could see, like, the full articulation. Another thing, I think Fu said in his review that the ab crunch is a little bit tighter than Vulcan's and Havoc's, so keep an eye on that. Another thing I wished Scott had for this version of the character is that butterfly joint, because that helps so much immensely. And giving in Corsair's case, it makes sense for him to like be more open spreaded with the arms so that he could do like swashbuckling stuff on the Starjammer cruiser or whatever the hell the I don't know my Starjammers lore. I'm really trying, guys. But yeah, to their knockoff Guardians ship, I can see him just like running around like fixing like batteries and stuff, kind of like in Resident Evil 3. Anyway, go to any of my cards about how I felt about that game when that came out, remake wise. Other than that, I don't know. As far as the wave itself, You have to buy it in bits if you're into a certain character. Like I said, the only reason why I didn't go for the Kid Omega is that it's the only figure out of this whole wave that actually has a reuse from, I think, a Doomsayer or Doomland. Yeah, it was a Doomland's Nerf Blaster. Again, the Nerf Brain comes into play, and I think I gave that weapon to my Bloodshot figure a couple years back, so I'm gonna go look for that in the meantime. So until my upcoming review for Indiana Jones at the Dial of Destiny, the whole reason I wanted to do the whole wave here, I wanted to do a figure video first, was to do a retrospective of the first 4 movies leading up to that, but well, I'm about to have a lot of fun dad jokes with Chris coming ahead, and Encore is finally coming up to future dad jokes. Here to my shorts playlist for the previous episode of Critical Role. Other hand here to my previous review, which was The Flash. The whole wave here to sub to the channel, notification bell down below for when I finally get around to doing more Marvel Legends content. This is more of a catch-up review, and probably end up being a retro, I guess, news or editorial dump, if anything else. That all being said, take care, subscribe, and yeah, final ratings, I guess, for Corsair is definitely a good 7 out of 10. It's not bad. I'll probably do a final rating on it when I get to my indie review. So with that all being said, I'm Retrokid Reviews, and yeah, I'm totally not makeshifting a video for time. No.